Hello, CD again, Truth Matters. I'd mentioned before that powerful statement that molecular biologist Richard Dawkins states when he says that the universe has about it those characteristics and attributes that we would expect it to have, he says: blind, pitiless indifference. Now, there are those people these days who say that we should avoid dogma. That's judgment and talk about good and evil, but I think it's also making value judgments or statements of reality. Now, if a dogma is statements about reality, I think it's completely unavoidable. There's no way not to talk about dogma, but certainly to be sure, wow, what a dogmatic assertion that is, that the universe has about it those qualities and attributes that we would expect it to have: blind, pitiless indifference. Well, what are we to do with that as religious believers or persons? Far be it that I debate scientific theory, and too often religious believers are accused of doing just that. I agree with the philosopher Charles Sanders Peirce. Do not stand in the way of inquiry. I'm all about inquiry. And I cannot but believe, I don't think I'm wrong, obviously, as is the premise of my whole program here, Truth Matters. An honest inquiry can only be good as we strive to know whatever is true. That can only be a good thing. Inquiry as such can only be good. I prefer, rather than debating scientific theory, I would just talk about what the New Testament describes as grace. The preeminent term, I would say, the operative term in the New Testament, that is grace. As the Reformers said, sola gratia, grace alone; sola fide, faith alone. Grace and faith, these are the things that I get behind and rally behind. John Wesley, the preacher of my church, the founder of the Methodist Church, he said for over 200 years, proclaiming grace and freedom. I take that to be the central hub of what Methodism is about, proclaiming grace. And I think of grace as simply being that which is undeserved, what I precisely don't earn. And what better time to contemplate grace than this time of the year, as we are all about the giving and the receiving of gifts. And in thinking about grace and Richard Dawkins' statement, I think of a statement made by one of the greatest scientists in all of the world today, Francis Collins, talking about the nature of the universe. He says this statement. He said, in opposition, I would say, to Richard Dawkins, Francis Collins says that the universe as we experience it on a daily, weekly basis has about it the knife edge of improbability. The universe as we experience it on a weekly, daily basis rests upon a knife edge of improbability. Wow. What's Mr. Collins saying? I think he's saying it ain't supposed to be like this.